Hello everybody, my name is Angel on Fire. Today I'm going to be doing my 7th episode of my Blitz 3D tutorials. In this one I'm just going to start with very basic 2D, like the coordinate system, like repositioning text and everything, and maybe some color if I get into that, just anything that really uses numbers to figure out what it does. So first of all, when you're programming in Blitz, I'll just again wait key and end. Just put that up. So as you can see right here, this is my program box. Right up here, there's basically a coordinate system. Like if you had a graph, normally you would have the y-axis right here and the x-axis right here, and x would start at 0, y would start at 0 right here. So x would get bigger as you go along here, and y would get bigger as you go along here. Now, with programming, it's a bit different. Rather than starting down here as the origin, it will start up here as the origin. Now, as you go along here, x will get greater, and as you go along here, y will get greater. So with that knowledge, you normally don't need to go below into negative numbers. I've never done it, but if you ever do, I'm assuming you can just say draw it to wherever. I guess if you're doing an animation, you want to get something out of the screen, then you would tell it to move out. But anyways, so x is along here, y is along here. At the moment, I believe this is 400 by 300 or something. To set the size of the graphic box that you want, at the top you just write graphics. In my case, I'm just going to go 800 by 600. That's like the default programming one, sort of. Now, since it's not full screen, you can make it whatever you want. If it's full screen, it has to follow one of your full screen resolutions. But as you can see right here, it is 800 along here by 600 down here, and it is a bit bigger. I can't really get it all the way in, so I'm just going to stick at the normal. But I'll also just go over graphics right here. So first of all, this is the function or whatever. Right here is my x, how big I want x to be, so how long I want to be along the top. Then the 600 is down here. If I can add extra numbers to this, and basically, so the first number is the x, second number the y, third number is the color depth. So default, I think it's probably like 32, maybe 16, or something like that. I normally just say 16 because again, you don't need that much variance in colors. Well, you shouldn't, even when I'm programming in 3D. I don't go more than 16, and it looks just fine. And then after that, I have a couple different color full screen modes. So there's 0, 1, 2, 3, and I think it just goes up to 3. But if I quickly go to command reference and go to graphics, as you can see, I have so width is along the top, height is up and down, color depth, as I said, is 16, so it could be 0, 16, 24, or 32, and then video mode. Video mode, I can make it 0 for auto, and then that would just be what is like a little box on your screen. Full screen is number 1, Windows is number 2, and number 3 is scaled Windows mode. So I can't, number 1 is full screen. So if I did like this, if I booted it up, it would go into full screen. Now, I'm just going to do it. I don't think you guys can see that at all. I'm just going to hit a key so it exits, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Or unable to set graphics mode, whatever. That's just because of the screen ratio. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to keep it as a small box. But basically, that's how your coordinate system works. As you go along the top, x gets bigger, and as you go along the bottom, y gets bigger. So what I'm actually just going to do right here is I'm just going to add repeat until key hit. And so as I was talking about in the previous episode, this is a loop, and I'm saying repeat until key hit. And I'll say 28 so that it knows that I'm talking about enter, and I'm just going to take out the thing at the end because I don't want to have to hit a second key for it to exit. Now in my repeat, I'm going to say mouse or x equals mouse x, and again, mouse x is just a function. X right here is just a variable, just a number, and it's gonna store my mouse's x value. And I can say y equals mouse y. And then I can say, okay, this is something else I'm going to introduce you guys to. So far we've been using print all the time. Now print is good because it just prints it to the screen and it will automatically go to the next line. However, if I wanted to repeat this right now, if I said print So now I can just go like this, and I'm going to say print X and print Y. Now the reason this isn't going to work is because every time it repeats, it's going to go down to a line below it. So as you can see, it's not doing it very cleanly. And like as you can see, it's kind of working. But what I want to do actually is I'm going to go text, make this at coordinate 0, 0, which is at the very top of the screen. So with text, again, it's an arrow function. I say text. The first parameter, all of these are parameters. The first parameter is the x position on the screen, or the width. Well, x is the proper term. The second parameter is the y, and the third parameter is whatever text you want it to put out. So now with this one, I'm going to say text, and I'm going to want it to have the exact same x value because I don't want it to be off-centered horizontally. So I'll make it 0, and then I'll make this 12, which is the next line. So now if I go, as you can see, it's just going to keep on repeating like this. However, the problem with this right here is it's not updating the screen because every time it's just rewriting over top of itself. So what I want to do is if at the bottom right here I say flip, that will flip the front buffer and back buffer. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but basically it will just take what it has programmed so far. So it has right this like in a buffer, I guess, and then it will put that up to the screen. And then at the beginning I want to say CLS, which will clear a screen, because if I just have buffer, so I'll just put that in comments. If I just have buffer, or flip, it'll just do the same thing. But if I have CLS at the beginning, now I'll just bring this back up, and as you can see, when I'm moving around, it will update with the number of my x and y coordinate. So you can kind of use this code just to get a bit of an idea of how x and y works, and each x value is 1 pixel. Each y value down is 1 pixel as well. So again, you can do this with any text. You can locate it on the screen. One thing I did not figure out for the longest time is if I wanted to get user input, how to move it around the screen, and actually it's incredibly simple. All you have to do, so normally I would say name $sign equals input number, or money send, sorry. What is your name? Question mark. Okay, so now if I do this, it will ask you for my name. I do it, but it's like right at the top of the screen, and okay, I guess counted enter is twice, but whatever. Now if I say, what I can actually do is I can say, I'll just go above it, locate, and then I can change the x and y position of the next thing it prints to the, or of the next thing that prints to the screen that requires some way of moving. So text, it will always put it where you tell it. Locate, that works for print. If you say print then the text, it will locate that wherever you want on the screen according to your x and y values you put in. It will work for input. Those are only two I mainly use it for, but I'm sure it works for more. And then I can say, so locate, I'll say 0, 12, so it just moves down one line. Actually, I'll make it look like, okay, let's say 40, 40, 12. And as a, okay, it was doing something a bit weird where it had to have something inputted first, and then you can do the second thing as locate. But basically, I'll just fix this up quick. Okay, so right here, this isn't definitely not as cleanest coding that people can do, but basically I say print this just so it prints something ahead of time. It doesn't actually print anything, but it'll take up that line. But then I say locate 100, 100, and then it will take input and it will move it to that location. So right here it says what is your name, and it does it in the center of the screen rather than printing it where you want. So that's cool because then you can put your stuff in and it's on the center of the screen. Now I'm just going to take, or I shall change this to 1. So now if I hit escape, it'll exit. Again, the numbers I'm putting in here, you can just go help, you can go scan codes, and you can just look here. So escape is 1, and so I'm just going to take 1, put it in here, and when I hit escape, it'll stop running the program. Now after that, I'm just going to take this out for now and go back to here to my repeat and clean up the screen. Now what I can also do is I can print simple, actually I can also go color, okay, so what I did right here is I just changed the color. So whenever you say color, it will change the next line for print text, drawing like rectangles, circles. It will change that color to what's here, and until it's changed back to white, it will remain that color. So white is if I said color, and it goes like this. So the first parameter is the red value, the second parameter is the green value, and then the third value is, or the third parameter is the blue value, RGB. So when it's 0, 0, 0, it's going to be black. When it's 255, 255, 255, it's going to be white. And that 255 is the highest to go. So right now, I'm just saying make it random between these points. Now, it's not completely random. The random generator for Blitz, unless you tell it to be completely random, is, like, if I just say random right now, it will always follow the same sequence of numbers every time I start. So, as you can see, oh yeah, it has cool color stuff and everything, but if I go, the very first color is that kind of blue. The very first color, if I run again, is that kind of blue. To make it completely random, I have to say seed, RND, space millisecs. And it will figure out that, well, it's basically randomizes it compared to the time on your computer. So now, if I start running again, it'll do completely different colors each time. So yeah, I then down here, so I added the color, and it will just color a random color for the text. Then right down here, I added delay, so it has a bit of a wait period. If I took this delay out, it's just going to go wonkers. Crazy colors. That's actually kind of cool. I think it's partially based off of, since it's random, it's based off the time, so it's kind of fluctuating near the same colors, because each time it goes through, it's really close. But anyways, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then again, so color right here, you can have your text, you can locate it wherever you want on your screen. You can use locate as well. That's only really I would recommend for getting input from the user if you want that at a specific place on the screen. But you do have to print something beforehand while you're running the program. So that's all for this episode. I hope that I helped you guys out a bit to figure out a couple more cool things you can do. Again, just go play around, even if it's just playing around with the color. For example, something you can just do, well, that I can just do, I can go X okay, so I'm gonna say this one instead of, okay, actually I'll say 50. Then I'll go down here and I'll make sure it cannot go more than 255. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go graphics. Now just to be safe, I'll go 250, 250. Now it's going to make a screen for that. Okay, that's a bit ugly. I'm going to take this away. But basically I'm just linking the X and Y values to the X and Y values of the mouse. I'm just going to take this down here actually, so it's not too, or it's after the actual mouse. But now when I go over here and I move my mouse onto the screen, as you can see, when I move it around, it's going to change the color of the text, which is pretty cool. So just go play around with that, and as I go down here it's going to be black. As I go up here, it's going to turn closer to red and green put together, which turns into yellow. Yes. So I'm going to leave you guys with that, so go play around. So that is it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode. Angel and Vira out.